त्यसमा जिमेलमा लग्दैन मलाई के भयो आएन कि मेरो लाइट भयो भिडियो त आयो कस्तो फेस मात्रै देखायो भने के भयो
Get the backdrop on, Praveet. Could you inform the team to get the backdrop and music back on?
Good afternoon and good morning to all of you joining us from different time zones. I'm Sanjay Shrestha. As the Operation Manager at UKaid Sakchyam, I have had the distinct pleasure of being part of the program's journey since the beginning, both witnessing and contributing to its many efforts and impacts. I'm honored and humbled to welcome all our guests here today and thrilled to be co-sharing this digital space with you. UKaid Sakchyam started in September 2014 with support from British Embassy, formerly known as DFID. Over the last 7 years, our combined efforts, together with hundreds of our valued partners and stakeholders, many of whom have joined us today, have led to establishment of 192 bank branches in rural Nepal. Our efforts have led to improvements and innovation in several market-led financial products and services through grassroots-based organizations, including in areas like Mugu and Jumla in Western Nepal, and in many other extremely remote regions of the country that had very little access to formal finance and livelihood services prior to our interventions. UKaid Sakchyam has come a long way. Today, we will hear from our team and an outstanding, enterprising, industrious, and innovative groups of Nepalis representing different sectors about our approach, efforts, and impacts, about how we join hands to support and strengthen financial inclusion and innovation to help disadvantaged Nepalis, especially women, to grow and prosper using market-based innovations led by Nepalis for Nepalis. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guest again for joining us today. Through over 81 diverse partnership, UKaid Sakchyam was able to service and empower more than 2.6 million Nepalis with financial access and livelihoods. More than 50% of the people we reached were women. In addition, 108,000 of MSMEs benefited from our program. Our efforts and impacts would not have been possible without your engagement and support. Mr. Mahaprasad Adhikari, Governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank, Her Excellency Nicola Pollitt, British Ambassador to Nepal, Mr. Dhaniram Sharma, Joint Secretary, IACCD, Ministry of Finance, Nepal, Mr. Nathaniel Bevan, Development Director, British Embassy, Kathmandu, Ms. Heidi Tabukle, Deputy Development Director, British Embassy, Kathmandu, Mr. Charlie Bell, Senior Vice President of WSP. Thank you for your sustained support for our team and for being part of today's special event as well. Thank you also to all our special guests, panelists, partners from government, banking sector and industries, the British Embassy, and other organizations. Today's event is a reflection on our journey. It is a celebration of our efforts co-lead with you. It is an expression of gratitude for walking on a 7-year journey alongside UKaid Sakchyam. With that, I would now like to invite and hand over to Nirmal Dahal, team leader of the program. Over to you, Nirmal, sir. So sorry, we are having a few technical difficulties, so we'll be back in a few minutes, just a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for Nirmal, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone for being here amongst us. And now Nirmal's having a little bit of a technical difficulty, so he should be on very soon for his presentation. It's again, as I said, a momentous moment, as Sanju rightfully described, as part of a journey that we have taken over the last 6, 7 years working with you. Primarily deliver on a promise that was made by the British Embassy and the government of Nepal to get to the Midwest and Far Western regions of the country and to be able to make a difference to the communities that were lacking in basic service provision when it came to the delivery of financial services. It's in this context, the journey that we took and where we are today is going to be put forward and elaborated by our colleague and our team leader, Nirmal Dahal. Sanju, do we have Nirmal on now? while we reflect on, while we have Nimble joining us, if I could ask my colleagues, maybe if we could, oh, Nimble is getting ready to start. Okay, cool. Over to you, Nimble.
Sorry, there was some technical glitches. Sorry for that. Can you hear me out and can you see my shared screen?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sanju. Thank you, Baljit, for filling in for me when I was having this difficulty. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in about next 20 minutes time, I would like to take you through the Sakchyam journey, which started around 7 years back after the
We are not hearing you, in fact.
Sorry.
Nimble, can you come back on now? Yeah, you're back now, Nimble. Yes, please.
Somebody is taking control of the thing. Deep, sorry, I'm again having some issues.
Yeah, we can hear you, Nimble. Please go ahead. Yeah.
It is not moving. Give me a slide. Okay. Thanks. Sorry. So we started as part of a bilateral agreement between the two governments, UK government and Nepal government, in 2014 September. And as part of the memorandum of understanding between the two governments, there was a steering committee created which provided us overall guidance and oversight. The steering committee was chaired by Joint Secretary at Economic Policy Analysis Division with representation from Central Bank, Department of Cooperative, National Planning Commission, and British Embassy, Kathmandu. The steering committee met regularly, and the steering committee also invited senior officials from other government ministries, Prime Minister's office, and other divisions of the Ministry of Finance to deliberate on the goals of financial inclusion. The program was implemented by WSP in partnership with national and international partners. Sakchyam started as a 5-year program and through 2 extensions, one in 2017 and the other last year. In the last 7 years period, we have been able to engage in interesting partnerships with our partners spanning across outreach expansion, value chain financing, delivery channel innovation, and other technology-driven innovation. If we talk about the coverage of the program, initially our program was focused in Lumbini, Karnali, and Sulawesi provinces, and our reach expanded, covering all provinces and all 77 districts of Nepal. This was mainly due to the 2 reasons. The first was that immediately after 2015 Gorkha earthquake, we were asked to expand our interventions in 14 districts, most due to the nature of some of our interventions, like mobile financial services, which spanned across the country. Our presence was in all the provinces. The key focus of the program has been supporting innovation to expand financial access and inclusion for unserved, underserved population and regions as well as sectors. To achieve the program objectives, we had 3 key components, which are SME financing, financial inclusion, and financial literacy. We also had other key components such as targeted legal and regulatory interventions, modernization of the payment system and mobile financial services, and gender equality and social inclusion components, which cut across all 3 lead components. Our interventions and partnerships were underpinned by dedicated sectoral interventions, working closely with policymakers, regulators, meso-level entities, and market players. We used a combination of technical assistance and an innovative co-investment mechanism of challenge funding to undertake these interventions. We also closely worked with other donor-funded programs and partners to ensure that our efforts do not duplicate or overlap with the activities being carried out by these partners. At macro level, we primarily worked with the central bank to enhance the goals of financial inclusion and to support various initiatives we undertook with our partners. We also closely work with other regulators like Nepal Telecom Authority, Insurance Board, and other entities like National Reconstruction Authority on specific areas of intervention. When Gorkha earthquake struck Nepal in 2015, immediately after that, with the guidance of the central bank, we brokered a partnership between banking industry and the newly created National Reconstruction Authority to channelize grant payment to more than 500,000 earthquake victims through bank account. As I explained, that mobile financial services is a key intervention area. Learning from other countries' experience, we wanted to ensure that there is no regulatory overlap between the telecom authority and the financial sector regulator to promote mobile financial services. Towards this goal, we supported Nepal Telecom Authority to enter into an MOU with the central bank to ensure that there is no overlap in regulation to promote mobile financial services in Nepal. We also worked closely with Bima Samiti to promote microinsurance products. At meso level, we worked with umbrella organizations like Nepal Bankers Association, Nepal Insurers Association, and Nepal Microfinance Bankers Association. Working closely with Nepal Bankers Association, we worked to expand the coverage of SME loan guarantee facility, and we believe that our work will ultimately result in an institutional arrangement whereby credit guarantee function and deposit guarantee functions are undertaken by two separate entities in Nepal. At micro level, we work with various types of financial service providers, including commercial banks, development banks, microfinance institutions, fintech companies, remittance companies, insurance companies, as well as anchor firms to implement various interesting partnerships across outreach expansion, mobile financial services, value chain financing, product and process innovation, and financial literacy. I'll talk about these interventions in more detail later. Under SME financing, we were upcoming fintech companies in Nepal. With 20 partners, we launched 50 projects and made a co-investment of £8.5 million through our challenge funding mechanism. We established 79 physical branches, mostly in rural location, including 53 branches in newly created rural municipalities which didn't have any bank branches before. This was crucial to support federal structure of governance in Nepal, as the federal government mobilized and channelized budgetary support to sub-national governments through bank accounts in these locations, and also G2P payments were made through bank account. In some of the locations, physical branches are not commercially feasible, and to ensure that the local population have access to at least basic services, we partnered with commercial banks to establish, to provide services through alternate delivery channels, such as branches banking touchpoints. With our support, 300 plus branches banking touchpoints were established, including more than 140 branches banking touchpoints in 14 districts, mostly affected by the Gorkha earthquake. Our partners also mobilized substantial deposit and also dispersed a loan in excess of 204 million pounds in various enterprising activities, mostly to micro and small enterprises. Our partners also launched 27 interesting products in the areas of value chain financing, digital financial services, targeting micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as 7 savings and lending products targeted at women. Under financial inclusion component, we again partnered with major microfinance institutions of Nepal, apex institutions, cooperatives, and insurance companies. Working with 20 partners in 31 projects, we made co-investment of 5.7 million with our partners. Through these initiatives, 107 physical branches were established, and one of the transformational initiatives we have undertaken with our microfinance partners is the digitization of transactions in center meeting. This has not only brought convenience to the members and loan officers, this has also saved substantial time for our loan officers and members of the microfinance institutions. Our microfinance institutions partners dispersed loan of more than 180 million pounds through these partnerships and launched 16 products in the area of loans, saving, and insurance products. One of the insurance products launched with our support was weather-based index insurance product for the apple farmers in Jumla, and that was the first time that weather-based index insurance was launched in Nepal. Under financial literacy, we worked with our partners in their capacity building, as well as in the development of financial literacy, content, messages, material, and delivery channel. We primarily work with our partners to bring innovative concept in the delivery of financial literacy material and messages. We encourage our partners to use technologies such as mini projectors and interactive voice response to disseminate financial literacy messages. With our support, 4 microfinance institutions partners were also certified for adhering to internationally accepted client protection principles promoted by Smart Campaign. These are the 4 partners which were recently accredited with the certification, and this is the first time that financial institutions in Nepal have been accredited with the certification. Through these partnerships, our challenge funding initiative have supported more than 81 projects in various areas of intervention. And if you look at the flow of challenge funding to our partners, 14 million challenge fund has been dispersed to our partners in total, and majority of the funding has gone to commercial banks, followed by microfinance institutions, then fintech companies and insurance companies. One of the key areas of Sakchyam program has been the support it has provided to the central bank in modernization of the payment system. Sakchyam provided support to the central bank in the installation of a key financial market infrastructure of real-time gross settlement system. With Sakchyam support, the infrastructure was installed at the central bank in record time of 16 months. Sakchyam program also supported in the installation of an intelligent modular data center to host RTGS and other mission critical solutions at the central bank. Sakchyam also supported on the adoption of key legal and regulatory framework for payment system and also in the capacity building of the newly created Payment System Department at the central bank. Now, I would like to share with you the key achievements of Sakchyam program in these 7 years. Working with 45 partners, we implemented 81 interesting projects spanning over all 7 provinces and 77 districts, with 192 physical branches, 43 product and process innovation, deployment of more than 3,400 tablets, establishment of branches, more than 300 branches banking touch points, and our challenge fund investment of 14 million leveraged private sector capital of more than 443 million pounds. These initiatives benefited more than 108,000 MSMEs. Majority of those MSMEs were micro enterprises in rural locations. Through these initiatives, we are able to reach 2.6 million beneficiaries, out of which 1.3 million beneficiaries were women. This achievement has helped us to be consistently rated highly by British Embassy in Kathmandu, and we have been rated A or better in all our past annual reviews, including the rating of A++ in 2017, which is the highest rating accorded to a program. And I'm pleased to inform you that we have been able to meet all life of the project log frame indicator targets. In fact, in most of the cases, we have exceeded these targets. I would like to conclude by thanking you all for your support and guidance in these 7 years' time, without which we would not have been able to share this journey with you today. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you very much, Nirmal. Thanks indeed. Good afternoon. We will now move on to reflections from the partners. As we get started, I also want to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Governor. Governor, sir, good afternoon. Indeed, a great pleasure to have you amongst us. We will be very quick.
Namaskar, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, Governor. Nice to see you, Governor. How are you?
Yeah, fine, fine. How are you, Baljit?
Excellent, Governor. Governor, we'll just take about 10 minutes with reflections from our partners, and then we'll move on to the inauguration of the rollout of the legacy. So let me move on very quickly to just in the interest of the time of the Governor. And also I want to acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency, the Honorable Ambassador. Ambassador Nicola Pollitt, are you there? Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Baljit, I think she's experiencing some technical issues. Just
Okay.
give us 5 more minutes.
No problem. So we're going to move on. In conscious of the Governor's time, so we will move on and we will quickly seek reflections from our partners who worked with us over the last 7 years, helping deliver results. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Praveen. If you could please start off by introducing the first panelist and getting the very brief and quick response in the interest of the Governor's time. Please go ahead, Praveen.
Thank you, Baljit. So I'd like to go to the panelist, Mr. Bhuvan Karel. He is the Executive Director at the Payment Systems Department at Nepal Rashtra Bank. And he's leading this department for almost 1.5 years, almost 2 years by now. So Bhuvan, sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, namaste.
Namaste, sir. Sir, Sakchyam worked closely with Nepal Rashtra Bank for the last 7 years, and especially with the Payment Systems Department. And I'd like to seek your reflections on Sakchyam's working with the Nepal Rashtra Bank. Basically, we focused our efforts on implementation of key financial infrastructure. Then we worked on the legal regulatory aspect of payment systems, and to some extent on the capacity building of the Payment Systems Department. I would like to hear from you, how would you like to reflect Sakchyam's working with Central Bank for the last 7 years? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you once again. Respected Governor, Sir, Excellency, Joint Secretary, Sir, and friends from the UKaid Sakchyam and other reputed institutions. Once again, namaste, good afternoon. About this, Praveen, just you mentioned some concern or our reflection. I would like to very much aptly share with you that the central bank, especially from the support we received on payment system, especially building the market infrastructure or legal support or capacity building, just whatever you just mentioned, I would like to especially focus on the operation of RTGS, which is very much, I mean, really very, very impressive and going strong day by day. And it's one of the major, I would like to repeat that it's one of the major instrumental and infrastructure facility right now we are having here in the central bank for the payment system. And by the time you also like mentioned about the establishment of data center or establishing the interface GL and RTGS, etc. All these activities, supports, and the guidance or collaborations, everything is very much fruitful to us, and we expect for the coming days also we shall have such fruitful coordination and the arrangement as well. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bhuvan sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Praveen. We'll move on in the interest of time. I'd like to now move over to the president of the Nepal Bankers Association, Bhuvan sir again. Indeed, a pleasure to have you amongst us. Long journey. From a meso point of view, having worked with the Nepal Bankers Association in your capacity as the president of the NBA, as well as the CEO of one of the more dynamic banks in the country, would like to hear your perspectives about how you saw this journey with Sakchyam. Over to you, Bhuvan sir.
Thank you so much, Baljit, respected chief guest, special guest, and all other guests present here. Namaskar. In fact, it was a pleasure working with Sakchyam. I just want to highlight some of the points because our Sanima Bank also had 4 associations. We worked together in 4 benches, and at the same time, NBA worked in many benches with Sakchyam. So today, banking sector, banks have reached nooks and corners of Nepal. And when we look at the financial deepening status of Nepal, it is much better compared to other South Asian countries. Our deposit to GDP ratio, our credit to GDP ratio, our number of accounts, much better compared to other South Asian countries. And in this journey, the support of Sakchyam was really important. And I would like to extend a hearty gratitude to Sakchyam and UK government also for the support extended to Nepal Bankers Association and Sanima Bank. In fact, with the support of Sakchyam, we could open some branches in the rural areas of far western region, at the same time Kandali region and other places also. At the same time, we expanded some branchless banking services also. At the same time, some big banks here in Nepal, even in Kathmandu also, they set up their SME unit and MSME unit also. So your support was definitely useful. In case of banks here in Nepal, they could do it on their own also because they have enough fund, but your support definitely expedited things to do it much earlier. So we are really grateful to Sakchyam for all the support extended to us. At the same time, you already shared your experience with the NRB and the RTGS thing. That is useful for us also. That is not only useful for NRB, that is useful for entire banking sector. Thank you so much, Baljit.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Praveen.
Now, I would like to go to Mr. Basanta Lamsal. He is the president of Nepal Microfinance Bankers Association, as well as CEO of Vijay Laguvita Vitta Sanstha, which is also a partner microfinance institution of Sakchyam. Basanta, namaste and good afternoon. So,
thank you, Praveen. Namaste, everyone, and good afternoon.
So, Basanta, I will have 2 questions to you in the capacity of president of NMBA as well as partners organization CEO. So first, I would like to ask you that as the president of this umbrella organization, how do you see the role of Sakchyam in changing the landscape of microfinance institutions in Nepal? And what were the top 2-3 transformational changes that Sakchyam could bring into the industry? And the second question is that we did 3 big projects with VLBS since 2015, and one of them was to introduce this IVR, interactive voice-based, response-based financial literacy thing for the first time in Nepal. So how would you like to reflect Sakchyam projects through VLVS and as an umbrella organization.
Thank you, Govinji. Namaste once again. Thank you for having me here today. It's very nice to have, to be part of this celebration. We talk about the contribution of Sakchyam to microfinance industry, but it was a really important one. It was Sakchyam has played very vital role. Actually, to ignite, I would say, to create the vibration to among the practitioners, and then to encourage them for their program expansion and to support on financial inclusion. Sakchyam's role was very important to expand the branch in network and then to expand the outreach. And it has definitely increased the access to finance for the rural people who are living in the rural area. Second part was a bit innovations, that Sakchyam supported to the microfinance, institutions, because Sakchyam team were pushing all the time to come with some innovative ideas and this and that. So I think with that, many microfinance, institutions, they came with some technical technology, like a digital system. They like reporting, tablet banking, and so on. These are some innovative things, and some they also were able to bring kind of new technology, some CBS systems. These kind of new innovation, some tablet bankings that I talked about. Other one was some important aspect was the payment system. I think Sakchyam also supported on that. We didn't have much long experience, but in the payment, but we Sakchyam supported to connect us with the payment like eSeva and IME Pay, something, this platform that there was good critical role, that Sakchyam played to connect microfinance industry, microfinance institution to this platform. Hence, these all, experiences that what I feel is like Sakchyam was encouraging, everyone to come with some new innovative ideas, to do something, to use the technology and so forth. That's why I think that it was very important roles. Sakchyam played very important role for the MFIs to come together and then to do something for the industry. If I talk about Vijay, of course, Vijay was lucky. I was lucky enough to be a first partner of Sakchyam from microfinance industry. With the support of Sakchyam, we were able to expand our program to open up branch offices in the remote areas, which help us to expand our network and then increase our outreach. Similarly, we also had a kind of new innovation, some new taste, like we introduced IVR, interactive voice response. That was a digital platform that was a financial literacy. We used telephone, mobile phone to educate the people on financial literacy. That was a very interesting one, very new one in Nepalese context. And after that, many institutions, they followed that, the pilot project, that concept. That was a very good one. Similarly, we also had a kind of some support on entrepreneurship development. Actually, we just wanted to develop some kind of agricultural entrepreneurs and some plots, some areas where we could have a very agricultural products, but unfortunately due to COVID, we couldn't do much in the field activities. With this whole journey, we are very happy that we were part of Sakchyam program. Vijay did a lot of work with Sakchyam. We were able to expand our network and do some innovative things. I would like to thank Sakchyam team, Baljit and all entire team for your support for us, microfinance industry and Vijay Lokvita as well. Thank you very much once again, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavor. Thank you, Pravinji.
Thank you, Vasan sir. Thank you. Now I would like to go to Ms. Bimla Yogi, Chief Executive Officer at Jalpa Samudaik Lagu Vitta. Bimla ma'am, namaste.
Namaste everyone. Good afternoon.
Hazur ma'am. हजुरलाई क्वेसन गरौँ या भिडियो चाहिँ आएन हजुरको?
भिडियो हामीले त देखिरहेछौँ है म्याडमको।
Video is there. We can see her.
हजुर म्याम, बसन्त सरको भिडियो एक्चुअली अफ गरिदिने हो कि त्यसले डिस्टर्ब गर्यो? हजुर म्याम, अब मैले हजुरलाई नि अब सक्षम कार्यक्रमबाट चाहिँ नि हामीले भनौँ न लास्ट 5-6 वर्षमा चाहिँ नि हजुरहरू एउटा फिङ्गो हुँदाखेरि NWCSC हुँदादेखि काम गऱ्यौँ र त्यति बेला पनि हजुरहरूको जुन एउटा इनर्जेटिक सोच थियो, जसरी चाहिँ नि एउटा केही नयाँ गरौँ भन्ने थियो र त्यसमा हामीले चाहिँ नेपालमा नभएको एउटा इन्टरप्राइज डेभलपमेन्ट सर्भिसेस जस्तो काम चाहिँ नि पहिलोचोटि ल्यायौँ। त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै नयाँ कन्सेप्ट थियो र च्यालेन्जिङ पनि थियो। त्यस्तै गरी यहाँहरूको संस्थामा हामीले ट्याब्लेट ब्याङ्किङहरूको अडप्सनको लागि पनि प्रोजेक्टहरू गऱ्यौँ। हामीले 2टा प्रोजेक्ट गऱ्यौँ, हजुरहरूसँग 5-6 वर्षदेखि काम गऱ्यौँ। यो हामीले 5-6 वर्षमा गरेको कामलाई यहाँहरूले कसरी मूल्याङ्कन गर्नुहुन्छ, यहाँहरूले कस्तो फिल गर्नुभएको छ एकचोटि केही बताइदिनुहोस् न प्लिज।
सबैमा नमस्कार, गुड आफ्टरनुन अल रेस्पेक्टिभ पर्सनालिटी एन्ड थ्याङ्क यू बोहरा सर एन्ड सक्षम टिम। इडिएस परियोजना सक्षमको दुवै परियोजना सञ्चालन हुनु पूर्व हामी 4 जिल्लामा कार्यरत थियौँ। हामीसँग 30,000 सदस्यहरूलाई लघु वित्तको सेवा प्रवाह गरिराखेका थियौँ र विपन्न परिवारका महिलाहरूलाई आय आर्जनका लागि प्रोत्साहन गर्दै थियौँ। जब सक्षमको सहयोगबाट हामीले 2वटा प्रोजेक्ट सञ्चालन गऱ्यौँ र अन्तिममा इडिएस परियोजना पनि सञ्चालन गऱ्यौँ। त्यो हुँदा वित्तीय पहुँच नपुगेका अति विपन्न परिवारका जोखिममा परेका महिलाहरूलाई हामीले पूर्ण चक्रमा बचत, ऋण, बिमा, रेमिटान्सको सेवा ट्याब्लेट ब्याङ्किङ मार्फत चाहिँ हामी दिन सफल भयौँ र महिलाहरूको वित्तीय र व्यावसायिक दक्षता अभिवृद्धि गराउँदै कृषि तथा पशु व्यवसायमा प्राविधिक सेवा उपलब्ध गराउन सहयोग पुग्यो इडिएस कार्यक्रम मार्फत र जसले गर्दा सदस्यहरूले उत्पादन गरेको वितरण गर्दा हजारौं महिलाहरू सफल उद्यमी, सफल व्यवसायी बन्न सफल हुनुभएको छ र इडिएस परियोजनाले सदस्य र कर्मचारीको वित्तीय र व्यावसायिक र सँगसँगै प्रविधिको क्षेत्रमा पनि जुन क्षमता अभिवृद्धि गर्यो, यसबाट संस्थागत सुशासनमा पनि अत्यन्त सकारात्मक प्रभाव रह्यो र म आज खुसी साट्न चाहन्छु। यो आज हाम्रो महत्त्वपूर्ण उपस्थितिमा र सक्षमको उपस्थितिमा सफल भएका छौँ। यो श्रेय म सक्षम टिमलाई दिन चाहन्छु। थ्याङ्क यू बोहरा सर, थ्याङ्क यू सक्षम टिम। र यस अन्तर्गत हामी अहिले अत्यन्त हर्षित पनि छौँ। कर्णालीको विकट क्षेत्रहरूमा र लुम्बिनी र गण्डकी प्रदेशका 19 जिल्लाका 87,000 विपन्न वित्तीय पहुँच नपुगेका महिलाहरू, वैदेशिक रोजगारबाट फर्केका युवाहरूलाई आज हामीले यो सेवालाई, लघु उद्यम कार्यक्रमलाई चाहिँ निरन्तरता दिइराखेका छौँ। त्यसैले त्यही मार्फत जुन ट्याब्लेट ब्याङ्किङ हामीले सञ्चालन गरेका थियौँ र ट्याब्लेट ब्याङ्किङको माध्यमद्वारा SMS मार्फत वित्तीय सूचनाहरू, वित्तीय साक्षरताहरू, व्यावसायिक साक्षरताहरू हामीले प्रदान गर्दैछौँ हाम्रा सदस्यहरूलाई, जसबाट सदस्यहरूको त्यो विपन्न परिवारका सदस्य महिलाहरू जो हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूको जीवनशैली नै प्रविधि मैत्री भएको खुसी पनि म यहाँहरूसँग साट्न चाहन्छु। आज सदस्यहरूले यो वित्तीय पेमेन्ट सिस्टममा पनि उहाँहरू अगाडि बढिसक्नु भएको छ। आदरणीय श्रीमान गभर्नरज्यू पनि आज यो कार्यक्रममा हुनुहुन्छ। गभर्नरज्यूको जुन अभियान छ डिजिटल नेपाल निर्माण गर्ने, यसमा विपन्न परिवारका एकदम विकट क्षेत्रमा बसोबास गर्ने महिलाहरू पनि यो अभियानमा जोडिनु भएको खुसी पनि म सेयर गर्न चाहन्छु। र यसै गरेर अहिले पनि हामीले हाम्रो स्रोत हुँदाहुँदै पनि उद्यम विकास कार्यक्रमलाई हामी हरेक जिल्ला, हरेक क्षेत्रमा अगाडि निरन्तर रूपमा अगाडि बढाउँदैछौँ र लाखौँ महिलाहरूलाई हामी उद्यमी बनाउने हाम्रो अभियान छ। र म खुसीको कुरा यहाँहरूलाई सुनाउन चाहन्छु। जब हरियो बजार मार्फत मूल्य श्रृङ्खला अभिवृद्धि, डेरी, बेकरी, अब तयारी कपडा, त्यसै गरेर विभिन्न उत्पादन भएको कृषि उत्पादन र बाटोलाई चाहिँ त्यसलाई प्रशोधन गरेर महिलाहरूले वित्तीय संस्था मार्फत उहाँहरूले पेमेन्ट पाउनुहुन्छ। यसो गर्दाखेरि मासिक रूपमा कममा पनि 15,000 देखि 50,000 सम्म महिलाहरूले आम्दानी गर्न चाहिँ सफल हुनु भएको छ। यो अभियानलाई हामीले अगाडि बढाउनु पर्छ भनेर सीमित स्रोतबाट पनि हामी अगाडि यो कार्यक्रमलाई लगेर गएका छौँ। तर पनि माग भए बमोजिम, सदस्यहरूको माग भए बमोजिम विकट क्षेत्रमा हामीले स्रोतको सीमितताको कारणले पनि हामीलाई अलिकति कठिनाइ त छ। तर पनि जुन सक्षमबाट हामीले प्राप्त गरेको आर्थिक प्राविधिक सहयोग रह्यो, यो सहयोग अत्यन्त अर्थपूर्ण सहयोग रह्यो म यो खुसीको कुरा सार्दै आफ्ना भनाइहरू यही अन्त्य गर्छु। हस्, थ्याङ्क यू। यो अवसरको लागि म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु।
Thank you very much,
you,
Bimla
sir.
man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always your partnership, your cooperation, and your vision. Thank you so much. I'm going to now move over to.
Thank you.
I'm going to now move over to Deep Pandey, who's the president of the Nepal Insurers Association, as well as the head of one of the most dynamic insurance companies in Nepal. And it has been a great pleasure working with him over the years. So Deep, just two quick questions for you, Deep. One is, the whole issue of microinsurance in terms of bringing it on into Nepal and really being a difference in terms of how we all work together as a team. So we want to first hear your perspectives about as to what is all that we did in the area of microinsurance, working with you, the regulator being the Bima Samiti, but also in addition to that, also the vision that you showed and exercised as a company in Nepal to introduce the first ever microinsurance product in the area of weather-based index. So I'll leave it to you to tell us a little bit about your experience. Go ahead, Deep, please.
Yeah, namaskar to everyone. Valchit, I don't know whether my video is working or not, but because I'm not able to start that. But as far as microinsurance, since that was the priority of our regulator and a priority of the government also, we wanted to use the banking channel, and so we tied up with micro MFIs, trained them, and then started going through that. Unfortunately, because of the bank certain regulations whereby bank assurance was not allowed, but still that work is going on. And then we did a lot of training. So with that, probably we've reached around 24,000 household different policies have been issued with an annual premium of around 1.15 million rupees. So microinsurance is slowly picking up, but the issue is again, the paying capacity of the individuals. As far as the index-based insurance is concerned, probably we are very thankful to Sakchyam because that was the first. It was introduced for the first time. We started. We chose Jumla as the district where apple farming was. It was a high priority, and then the quality of apple was good, but the farmers were prone to the risk such as rainfall. So we developed an index with the help of Sakchyam, your team, and the actuaries who came from outside. We developed a product whereby index was formed with the rainfall indexes, and then the farmers were exposed to the risk of hailstorm. So the product was developed accordingly. 5 years back, the premium was only 360,000 rupees. This year, the premium was almost 35 million. So you can see the change. With that, almost the claims are also there. First year, the claim was around 600,000 rupees, and last year it was almost 26 million. So the farmers have benefited. They have understood the importance of insurance. Almost 7,500 farmers are engaged in Jumla, Kalikot, Mugu, and Dolpa. And the farms have started growing more apples. So with that, there is cold storage being developed. The other sector of insurance is also being developed in that area. Probably 6 years back, we could 6 to 7 years back, there was hardly any premium, probably in 200,000 or something like that. Now this year we are targeting almost 75 million rupees as premium. So the insurance market has grown, and we are working to mitigate the risk of the farmers, along with the risk of the financing agencies. So that's how it's been a success story. And then with that experience, we have now moved to the plain areas where we are developing index-based products for paddy and other plantations also. So it's really a very good experience. The journey has been very useful, especially for the farmers in that area. And if you ask me, the insurance market, the demand of insurance in other adjoining villages are going up, and then we have diversified in other parts also. So we would like to thank Sakchyam for giving us that support, and then we have really succeeded. It's been a successful story.
Deep, thank you so much, Deep. Thanks for your support and thanks for your vision and really getting us out also to the most remotest parts of the country. Thank you, Deep. I'm going to now move over to Biswas. Biswas, I think you're a known individual in the industry. You are in the forefront, not only as an individual, but also with your companies, who's really spearheading the digital financial services revolution. And given the amount of encouragement that we now have from the Honorable Governor, who himself has shown so much of interest over the last few months in promoting digitization, give us a little bit about how you feel about digitization and what is it that we may have contributed to your cause in making this happen. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I would like to thank Team Sakchyam for supporting and partnering with us in different projects, eSeva Cash Point, enhancing QR-based mobile payment, and supply chain financing. This project have added the nation in providing seamless digital financial service to Nepal's unserved population. And being a private sector, our priority to focus on low-hanging customer base where conversion is much easier and profitability is maximum. Private sector has an initiation to serve marginalized customer, but most of us consider as charitable work, which comes once reach comfort zone of sustainability and profitability. Because of DFIs like Sakchyam, private sector like ours are motivated to reach out to those marginalized customers and expand the service to transform daily life of thousands of people who might not be in a priority list. On behalf of F1 Sir family, I want to express sincere gratitude to Baljit ji, Nirmal ji, Praveen ji, and the entire Team Sakchyam for supporting us throughout the journey. During our course of project, we heavily prioritize on unserved population, and the experience transformed our thought process. The smile and happiness of those community really encourage us to continue our effort to focus on those areas with or without DFIs in future as well. The mile we achieved during this partnership are really encouraging. Through eSeva Cash Point, we expanded to nearly 10,000 plus cash points to serve unbanked populations with daily financial need. We expanded to every nooks and corner of the country without missing any reason, and most exciting to see the number of women beneficiaries of 120,000 plus, which might be impossible to achieve without Sakchyam support. In QR-based project, we expanded the network of 13,000 SMEs on digital payment acceptance in most rural and remote areas of Karnali and Sudar Paschim province. In supply chain financing, till today, we crossed the finance facility of 2 crore, partnering with 3 banks. Thank you once again for giving us opportunity to work on impactful initiative, and we are looking forward more in coming days. Thank you, Baljit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Biswas. It's indeed a pleasure to be partnering with you. I wanted to now move on to asking Chandni, who has been overseeing the Sakchyam initiative and also is currently the private sector development advisor at the British Embassy. She also has a lot of experience having worked in the industry prior to coming to FCDO. So I'll turn it over to you, Chandni, to reflect on what you believe is impact and how the program like this may have contributed to it. Thank you. Over to you, Chandni.
Sure. Thank you, Baljit. Namaste and good afternoon, Your Excellency, Honorable Governor Mahaprasad Adhikari-ji and distinguished guests. Let me start by congratulating you, Baljit and Nirmal-ji and the entire Sakchyam team for spearheading the financial inclusion efforts in Nepal. The Sakchyam team has been successfully supporting private sector-led initiatives for financial access in the underserved communities such as women, sectors such as agricultural sector or rural MSMEs and geographies, remote rural municipalities. I think we've heard a lot of examples today on how this was done. FCDO believes in the transformative power of financial inclusion for improved livelihoods, sustainable and inclusive enterprise growth, and Nepal's overall economic development. But for financial inclusion efforts to be sustainable, action is required from all stakeholders. And I think Sakchyam has done this really well. Sakchyam has shown the power of working together and of multiple stakeholder partnerships with the likes of policymakers, regulators, and key private sector actors. Sakchyam's approach of combining challenge funding with technical assistance has helped to de-risk private sector investments, like Ms. just mentioned, and also build capacity to pilot or upscale innovative financial inclusion products, like Deepchi just mentioned. This has improved social welfare and resilience of rural populations and promoted growth and productivity and innovation in MSMEs. And this is an area, or these are areas that FCDO is very keen on supporting. Sakchyam has also worked with women's groups and cooperatives to deliver targeted financial products and financial literacy trainings, just like Vimalaji just mentioned. Financial inclusion for women supports women's economic empowerment because it provides tools to accumulate assets, generate income, manage financial risks, and fully participate in the economy. For Sakchyam, many notable interventions. I think the mobile-based financial services ranks pretty high in the financial inclusion parameter. And this is particularly important post-COVID with the online banking quickly gathering speed. And I think here, we can see how Sakchyam has built partnerships across the broad spectrum of public, private, and community. Sakchyam has built frameworks, capacity, network, and momentum, almost like in preparation for this. So Sakchyam has supported capacity building at Nepal Rashtra Bank, and Sakchyam has also de-risked product offerings by companies like eSewa, and in building digital literacy capabilities by women-focused micro-enterprise institutions. I believe that Sakchyam is a prime example of the impact of supportive partnerships, because the impact really for Sakchyam is quite high. There have been 43 product and process innovations, increased financial access to over 100,000 MSMEs, and 2.6 million individuals have been touched by Sakchyam's support, and 1.3 of them, or 50%, have been women. I think this is quite, a commendable impact that Sakchyam and partner organizations have been able to show. Thank you, Baljit. Over to you.
Right. Thank you, Chani. Thank you so much. Thanks all the panelists for having given your perspectives. Over to you, Sanju.
Thank you. Thank you all. So now, without further ado, let's hear from one of our partners, Mr. Anil Shah, CEO of Nabil Bank.
There have been many projects that I've worked with in being part of the financial sector, but very few have given me the satisfaction that Sakchyam has given me. I've always said the first thing that I remember about Sakchyam is most projects we would have to push. Sakchyam was one project that always pushed us to deliver, that always pushed us to push the boundaries, to do new things with technology, to do new ways of delivering new financial products and services. And this is what excited me most about Sakchyam. And it's all about the team. The team that we worked with, right from the top to all the frontline team members, were dedicated, were truly exceptional in their knowledge of the domain that they were working in, and in motivating those of us in the banking sector to do as much as we could. There's so much to do in terms of financial inclusion, in terms of financial literacy, in terms of taking banking to the bottom of the pyramid in Nepal. And Sakchyam has been a true partner in doing that. In Nabil Bank, we worked with Sakchyam to set up our SME center in order to convert the bank from being a corporate-centric bank to being a bank that is focused in SME. The fiscal year that has just gone by has seen that transformation, with a majority of incremental business coming in the SME domain, coming from our branches. This was something that we thought was never possible in Nabil Bank. And Sakchyam has had a very big role to play in making this transformation a reality. The technical experts that came in here, the assistance with the technology that we now have in place, as well as the framework and developing of that ecosystem that brought about a paradigm shift in the way we think, the way we do business, and the way we look at our customers. For us at Nabil Bank, the transformation towards being a more comprehensive bank, from being just a bank of large institutional depositors and large borrowing customers, to being a bank that is granular in nature, a bank that grows to the grassroots, a bank that is there for the SMEs, for the mid-corporates, for the micro institutions. And for that transformation, Sakchyam has played a really, really phenomenal role for us.
That was very encouraging from Mr. Shah. Now I would like to invite respected Governor Mahaprasad Adhikari sir to unveil Sakchyam booklet capturing highlights of Sakchyam journey. Ma sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Nirmalji. Now, I'd like to announce the launch of the Sakchyam legacy through this specially designed and prepared booklet that you are about to see into the screen.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite our special guest, Her Excellency Nicola Polit, to release a Prezi video highlighting moments of Sakchyam journey.
Thank you very much. And so I'd like to request Sakchyam to unveil its journey through a brief video presentation, which you can watch on your screens. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you for showing the beautiful journey of Great Sakchyam Trail. Following this, now I would like to present a few words from our beneficiaries.
पोहोरको सालमा पनि मैले बिमा गरिरहेको थिएँ। बिमा मैले 100 बोटको गरेको हुँ, तर फल्दै फलेन। जम्मा मेरो हुन्थ्यो 50-60 क्विन्टल जति हुन्थ्यो। पोहोरको सालमा नफलेर जम्मा 16 क्विन्टल मात्रै भयो। भए उनीहरूले बिमा संस्थानले मलाई 31,500 कति 35 रुपियाँ हो कि कति मैले चाहिँ अनुदान पाएँ बिमाबाट। पाएको हुँदाखेरिमा किनभने बेसी जनताको असिनो आयो, खडेरी पढ्यो, अर्को भयो भने बेसी त कसैले दिन्थ्यो न, हामीले आफै बिहोर्नु पर्ने हो। घाटा भएको हुनाले इन्सुरेन्सले के अरे उसले बिमा दिएकोमा हामी खुसी छौँ। एकदम फाइदा छ, किनभने यतातिर खडेरी पढिएको छ, खडेरीबाट केही पनि आउँदैन। यता असिनाले खाइदियो भनेपछि पनि जनता न हामीले त्यसै हाम्रो मिहिनेत खेर गयो। त्यही भएको हुनाले हामीले धेरै फाइदा गरिरहेछ, हामी खुसी छौँ।
थपालीपुर स्थित रहेको शान्ति समूहमा हाम्रो यो माइक्रो फाइनान्स समूहले चाहिँ एउटा हाम्रो मासिक रूपमा बचत गर्ने समूहलाई एउटा ट्याब्लेट उपलब्ध गराइदिएकोमा सर्वप्रथम त उहाँहरूलाई धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गर्न चाहन्छु। हाम्रो यो मासिक रूपमा बचत भर्ने र मासिक रूपमा समूहमा बस्न आउनुहुने महिलाहरूले महत्त्वपूर्ण आफ्नो घरको काम छोडेर केही समय समूहको लागि दिनको लागि आउनुभएको थियो र त्यो समूहमा हाम्रो यहाँभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ धेरै समय लगाउँथ्यौँ भने अहिले माइक्रो फाइनान्सले हामीलाई एउटा ट्याब्लेट उपलब्ध गराउँदा बित्तिकै हामीले छोटो समयमा हामीले आफ्नो हिसाब किताब महत्त्वपूर्ण कामहरू उपलब्ध गराएर हामी छोटो समयमा सबै काम सिद्ध्याएर एउटा समूहको काम पनि सिद्ध्याएर र हामीले अन्यथा कामलाई पनि भ्याउन सक्ने समय गराइदिनु भएको छ। उहाँहरूलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद छ र यहाँभन्दा पछिल्ला पनि यस्ता धेरै सुविधाहरू उहाँहरूले ल्याइदिनु हुनेछ भन्ने आशामा छौँ। अहिले ट्याब्लेट मार्फत काम गर्दा हामीले 2-3 घन्टा काम गर्न समय लाग्थ्यो भने अहिले छोटो समय 15-20 मिनटमा हामीले दिदीबहिनीहरूले काम भ्याएर हामीले घर फर्किने अवसर पाएका छौँ।
Sorry, there was some technical issues. So now I would like to request our special guest, Mr. Dhani Ram Sharma, Joint Secretary of International Economic Cooperation Coordination Division, Ministry of Finance, Nepal, to put his special remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Respected Governor, Mr. Mahaprasad Adhikari, Nepal Rashtra Bank, Excellency Nicola Polet, British Ambassador to Nepal, distinguished panelists, Sakchyam team, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be participating at this closing event of the UKaid Sakchyam Access to Finance Program, a joint initiative launched by the government of Nepal and the United Kingdom in 2014 as part of MOU to advance financial inclusion in the underserved regions of the country, identified as being of a high priority of the government. Rollout of Sakchyam's intervention were well timed to complement the government's push to expedite financial inclusion. One of the major causes of poverty is the lack of economic opportunity for people, especially for those who live in the remote locations. Access to financial services, including digital finance, have opened opportunities for economics and hence has been a necessity. We made sure that Sakchyam would work alongside us to roll out targeted intervention that would bring in sustainable and innovative solutions to enable the achievements of our financial inclusion goals. Sakchyam that was lead steering committee comprising the Ministry of Finance, National Planning Commission and Joint Secretary of the Planning and Analysis Division, Policy and Analysis. We work closely with the Enhancement Division of Ministry too. I also got a chance to spearhead it in my previous stints with the Ministry of Finance. So numerous steering committee meetings, subcommittee meetings were held to deliberate to Sakchyam's progress and guides its intervention. Sakchyam was an embodiment of the program that by the SME, Nepal Bankers Association, Nepal Microbank, and public and private sector entities could work together to create sustainable innovation solutions, including in the areas of digital transformation of financial sector. National Payment Systems Modernization, making finance accessible to SMEs, Microinsurance, financial capability, enhancement, and consumer awareness. The government of Nepal also made it a priority that people in newly established local bodies were not deprived of banking services. For this reason, the government mandated presence of bank branches in all the 753 local bodies. So UKaid Sakchyam stepped into partner with commercial banks to establish bank branches in 53 remotest municipalities of Culimination, Karnali, and Sudur-Paschim provinces, which never had a bank branch before. So these branches in local municipalities are crucial to channelizing federal government budget support to subnational governments. These branches are also helping to make government to people G2P payments, such as social security payments through bank accounts, thereby bringing large number of unbanked people into the formal banking system. We now look forward to these branches start to lend the local entrepreneur activities that is crucial for economic empowerment and job creation. So what I observe right now is banking and financial institutions are doing well to mobilize the saving, but it is still yet to be done to provide credit to the rural people. So promotion of electronic payment is another area where the government of Nepal has been directing its resources. UKaid Sakchyam strategic partnership with the Nepal Rashtra Bank on payment system modernization and digital payments, as well as with the NCHL and private sector, will further add impetus to the government's initiatives. So I have listened to all the stakeholders' impression today about the program, which is, I think, very much enough testimonies to evaluate the program. The video that was also says a lot about the successful implementation of the program. So on behalf of the government of Nepal, I would like to appreciate, acknowledge, and extend my sincere thanks to Sakchyam team for your contribution that have been made. The cooperation between our two governments, government of Nepal and government of the United Kingdom, has a long history. Honorable Ambassador, Excellency Ambassador, please accept our note of thanks for the support from the UK government and its people on various areas of development. I hope that the successful completion of the UKaid Sakchyam program will further strengthen and our bilateral tie and cooperation between the two countries in the coming days and months. So with this, I would like to conclude my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Following this, now we have another video testimonial from a beneficiary of Mahila Sayatra Microfinance Institution, now known as National Microfinance Lagu Vitta Vittiya Sanstha.
सोचेको थिएन अब केही आम्दानी गरौँ भनेर यसो योजना बनाइयो मैले चाहिँ एउटा नयाँ उद्योग खोल्छु भन्ने सोच भयो यो क्षेत्रमा चाउमिन उद्योग नभएको हुनाले चाउमिन उद्योग नै खोले महिला सहायताबाट पहिला सुरुमा 1 लाख रुपैयाँ ल्याएको थिए अनि दोस्रो चोटी पनि 1 लाख अनि त्यसपछि 1.5 लाख अनि अहिले चाहिँ 2 लाख रुपैयाँ ल्याएको छु यो लिएर यही चाउमिनहरुको मटेरियलहरु खरिद गर्ने गरेको छु यो व्यवसाय गरेर मलाई किस्ता तिर्न चाहिँ सजिलो भएको छ चाउमिन उद्योग खोलेको 2 वर्ष भयो यही चैतमा र पहिले अब अनुभव नभएर धेरै खेर फाल्दियो चाउमिनहरु अहिले आएर कामहरु सिक्दै जाँदा अहिले चाहिँ राम्रो भइराछ दिनमा 150 केजी मैदा चाहिँ चाउमिन बनाइराछौं यसको बजार चाहिँ यता माथि थबाङतिर उता रुकुमको चुनबाङ अनि उता सुगाउराल जिनाबाङतिर अनि यता माडीचौर अनि डारबोट त्यहाँसम्म जान्छ घरती गाउँमा पनि जान्छ 1 किलोलाई 70 रुपैयाँ मार्केटिङ भरि श्रीमानले सहयोग गर्नुहुन्छ बनाउनेमा आफै बनाउँछु रोजगारी पनि दिएछु र म पनि यो पेशाप्रति सन्तुष्टि नै छु यसबाट 80-90 हजार जति हुन्छ अब त्यही खर्च पर्छ यताउटी कटाएर चाहिँ 40-50 हजार जति हुन्छ आम्दानी
Thank you very much. I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing our special guest, Honorable Ambassador of the United Kingdom. Honorable Ambassador, it's indeed a great pleasure to have you, and I think it's a testimony of the commitment that FCDO and the British Embassy has also shown to the government of Nepal in making this program a success. The Honorable Ambassador has also served in very senior positions even before joining us here at the Embassy and leading the charge. She worked as the Assistant Private Secretary to the Prime Minister. She also worked as the head of the Cross Management Department at the FCO. And at the same time, she also was the Second Secretary for Political at Oslo and holding a lot of programs and leading FCO's charge in a number of countries around the world. So without any further delay, I'd like to ask you, Honorable Ambassador, for your kind words. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Joint Secretary, Governor, Sakchyam team and Sakchyam's valued partners. I'm delighted to be here with you this afternoon celebrating the success of the Sakchyam program with everyone and all the partners here this afternoon. Nepal and the UK have enjoyed such a long-standing partnership, and for many years we've been working closely with the government of Nepal to advance Nepal's priorities in many areas, including health, climate change, governance, women and girls, and economic growth. One of the areas we've focused on is strengthening the foundations of financial stability and economic prosperity. And through the Sakchyam program, we have shown that inclusive growth is possible. The program has successfully facilitated financial access and inclusion for unserved and underserved areas and peoples. In partnerships with the government of Nepal and the private sector, we've helped fill gaps in service provision and outreach. We have helped the rollout of federalism, and we've contributed to poverty reduction and private sector activity. Sakchyam's interventions have been demand-driven, and its activities have extended not only to remote areas in Paschim and Sudur Paschim, but also to pockets of poverty in underserved communities in Lumbini province and Province 2. It's been lovely to hear from other speakers and participants this afternoon about the successes and achievements of the programme. And I'm pleased that some of those will be recorded in the booklet that we've just launched as well. I offer you a few examples now, which for us on the UK government side, we felt were particular successes. Sakchyam's work with microfinance institutions has helped migrant workers get loans at half the interest rates charged by informal money lenders. This has allowed families already affected by the COVID pandemic to avoid falling into debt traps. And families have also been better able to repay their loans and make savings. Sakchyam's work to establish 53 bank branches in rural municipalities demonstrates the UK's support to the government of Nepal to help strengthen its federal governance structure. Federal governments have used this banking network to channel crucial budgetary support to subnational governments, as well as help distribute government-to-people payments, such as social security allowances. We're also proud of our partnership with the Nepal Rashtra Bank, which has modernised Nepal's payment systems. Its technology partnerships have also helped enhance mobile financial services across the country, including through its branchless banking, tablet banking, and digitisation of retail payment products. The Sakchyam programme also played an important role in channeling grant payments through bank accounts to the 2015 Gorkha earthquake victims. And crucially, in our climate change affected world, Sakchyam has also supported initiatives that better prepare communities to cope with climate change related events. Its work on the weather index insurance for farmers, which we heard about earlier, is a game changer. Farmers in Jumla, for example, have been able to receive payouts from insurance after a bad hailstorm destroyed their crops and threatened to jeopardize livelihoods. So in total, Sakchyam's interventions have reached over 2.6 million beneficiaries across 81 projects, increasing access to finance. I'm particularly pleased that 50% of those beneficiaries are women. Finally, on behalf of the British government, I want to thank all the stakeholders for your commitment to making Sakchyam such a successful programme. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now I'd like to present our another testimonial from Muni Rajbandari, CEO of Nepal Clearinghouse Limited.
Our partnership with Sakchyam was extremely crucial to generate momentum for the growth of electronic payment transactions in the country by bringing the conventional and non-conventional institutions into the digital payment ecosystem. Through this partnership with Sakchyam, we were able to successfully establish Connect IPS as the faster payment system and Corporate Pay as the payment platform for the corporates, SMEs and MSMEs. We were also able to scale up national payment interface for straight-through processing of these conventional and non-conventional institutions, which includes government, capital market, large fund managers, and so on. Through this project, we were able to create new users, which is more than 500,000 users. As of date, it's more than 600,000 users. And similarly, more than 600 SMEs and MSMEs could use the corporate pay system for their for processing transactions digitally. Similarly, we were able to onboard 24% of the women beneficiaries through this project. And more than 75% of the users for the faster payment system, that is Connect IPS, were the youth of the country. And we proudly can say that the awareness and the promotion that we could do through this project is very scalable, and the count will be increasing in the years ahead.
Thank you, Muni, and thank you so much for your impressions about how we really help expedite payment systems modernization and faster payments, which is indeed very critical for mobile money. So that's great. Finally, I really would like to kind of acknowledge the presence of a very special person here amongst us, and I say that personally because when we came here in 2014 and starting in 2015, Nirmal and I were really knocking on the doorsteps of the Nepal Rashtra Bank, trying to figure out how best we could partner with Nepal Rashtra Bank and how could we convince Nepal Rashtra Bank that we were here to do something different. And I really owe this to our governor today. You know, he has come over and now leading an institution. Even before that, he was in charge of the most important strategic initiatives when he was a deputy governor back in 2014 and 2015. And I really want to thank him because he's the one who really recognized what we were really about to do here. And he gave us complete, I could have access to him with Nirmal. Both of us could even call him directly and have a conversation with him when we felt that there were areas that we believe needed structural change, how we could do that. He gave us an open ear. He made it a point that all his colleagues within the Nepal Rashtra Bank got an opportunity to provide their feedback and input to what we were about to do. And what we see today in terms of payment systems modernization that we all hear about, the RTGS and all that stuff, this is all started back in 2014 when the governor passed, the deputy governor, Mahaprasad sir, was in charge of the layout of the national payment strategy that led to what we see today by way of all that changes that we are. So what we see today is the harbinger of all the great work and the foundations that we set forward with Maha sir. And finally, I think all of you probably might know, he's probably one of the only deputy governors that got into a car, into a small standard car like a Mahindra, sat with me and Nirmal, and spent over a week driving to all the Midwest and Far Western regions of this country, seeing these interventions at work. And at no time did he even say that, hey, listen, Baljeet, let's turn the car back and head back. He said, let's keep going on. Let's keep going on. And Samfe Baga, you name it. Jogboda, you name it. Beitidi, you name it. Khotpe, you name it. All these places, perhaps, where a lot of the senior government, Nepal Rashtra Bank officials may not have gone there before, but here was the deputy governor showing himself and his dedication to really making a difference. Honorable Deputy Governor, it's indeed a great pleasure. And to have seen you as a deputy governor, to see you as the investment board of Nepal's chairman, the president, and at the same time now seeing you in the role of governor. We'd love to have you give your remarks, Honorable Governor. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Baljeet. Thank you so much for your kind words. In fact, and that was my duty. Esteemed guest, Her Excellency Mrs. Nicola Falit, British Ambassador to Nepal, special guest, Mr. Dhanram Sharmaji, Joint Secretary, Minister of Finance, distinguished moderator, Mr. Baljeet ji, Mr. Praveen Pokhrel ji, Mr. Nirmal Dahal ji, distinguished panelists, participants, all CEOs, chairmen of the banking and financial institution, likewise PSP, PSOs, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In fact, it gives me a great pleasure to be part of this program as a chief guest and commemorating the culmination of the UKaid Sakchyam Access to Finance program, and to deliver my remarks relating to the working with the UKaid Sakchyam and transformational financial inclusion efforts in Nepal. At the outset, let me congratulate entire team of the UKaid Sakchyam Access to Finance program who made such a contribution to a country like ours, where we heard earlier from the Baljeet ji, who is our foreign guest, but he knows name, places, remote places than us. That's why I had visited along with him, with his team, to the Far East region. That was really, I got a very special chances to see the what sort of excellent work or delivery they're making with our partner, with Nepalese partner. The Nepal Rashtra Bank, in supporting a key priority of the government of Nepal for ensuring access to inclusive financial services, has initiated various measures to encourage bank and financial institutions to expand access in unserved and underserved location and segments, UKaid Sakchyam Access to Finance program has been supportive to our efforts to enhancing financial inclusion to the underserved region in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate that the Sakchyam's demand-driven intervention have filled the gaps in service provision and outreach, increased private sector activity, and contributed to poverty reduction efforts. The activities of the program have extended beyond the remote west and far west provinces to include poverty pockets to other parts of the country. While I was Deputy Governor, as Baljit was mentioning, I had personally traveled a week, that not only on days, even some days till night with the Sakchyam team. The first visit was Safibagar, then after the pile, some of the name of the places, Kodpe, Redaldura, Patan, Sahajpura, Belori, Thakurdara. Within 6 days' time, we had 24 programs. In Dhangadi, while coming back from Kanchanpur, it was midnight, 12 o'clock. One of the cooperatives, there was a program. People were waiting till tonight. We joined finally at night and concluded within few minutes time. That sort of experience I had, so that I could witness the first-hand their intervention and their excellent work with the Nepalese partner. The support of the UKaid Sakchyam is expanding 50 and above branches of bank as presented earlier in the most rural local units of the country. That was timely and crucial in the implementation of the federal structure of government and in channelization of the fiscal support to province and local level governments. I am pleased to note that many of the Sakchyam supported bank branches are also facilitating the payment of social security grants from the government of Nepal. This has not only aided efficiency and administrative cost reduction for the government, but also supported in reducing the pilferage and ease to the beneficiary. Through transformational partnership and intervention, Sakchyam has helped introduce innovative financial products, deploying multiple distribution channels in line with the country's diverse geography. These included invoice discounting for sugarcane farmer that I witnessed in Kanchanpur, Belori, warehouse receipt financing for potato farmers that also I witnessed in Kualpur, and weather-based index insurance for apple farmer in Jumla, Mugu, Dolpa, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, I note that one of the most significant achievements of the Sakchyam had been in the area of payment system reform. Modernization of the payment system has been the priority of Nepal Rashtra Bank, as enunciated in the bank's National Payment System Development Strategy 2014. Implementation of key financial market infrastructure such as RTGS system is a milestone achievement for Nepal. Installation of an intelligent modular data center to host the critical system of NRV and proactive cybersecurity system further strengthen the backbone of IT infrastructure at the NRV. I would like to thank the UK government for its support in installation of the RTGS system and peripheral infrastructure at the Central Bank. I would like to also acknowledge UKaid Sakchyam significant contribution towards the digitization of financial services, including the introduction of national payment interface and support infrastructure to facilitate digital G2P and P2G payments. I'm encouraged by the value and numbers of transactions processed by the system and catalyst role it is playing in digitization of the payment system into the country. I would like to appreciate and also like to express my gratitude to the UK government and the British people for support provided to expanding access to formal financial services for the rural and micro, small and medium enterprises in Nepal. Sakchyam is a very good example of an effective collaboration among the government, private sector and a development partner to co-create sustainable solution that will have a lasting impact in the future. Finally, I would like to express my warm wishes for the continuous achievement and also moving forward in a collaborative way for enhancing financial inclusion in different segments of the country. Congratulations for having this sort of hype. I appreciate the job done by the Sakchyam team, highly dedicated, sincere, committed, and also output oriented. Thank you all. Thank you for your kind listening.
Thank you, Governor.
Over to Baljit ji. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor, sir. Now, as we are coming to the end of the program, I'd like to request Charlie, Senior Vice President of WSP, for the closing remarks. Over to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Sanju. I'm not sure if my video is on. Let me see if I can get it back on here. Says the host has stopped it, but anyway, let me jump right in. And on behalf of WSP, I would like to thank the government of Nepal. All right, so there we go. There we go. Great, thank you. On behalf of WSP, I wanted to thank the government of Nepal, the British Embassy, all of our local partners, and our team for making Sakchyam such an enduring and successful journey. You know, when I think about journeys that I've taken around the world and trips I took out to Nepal, you know, you're always impressed by all the different things that go into making a program like Sakchyam such a success. There's some things like, you know, that are quite obvious, you know, technical leadership. Baljit, Nirmal, you know, probably all these folks on our team and all the local counterparts and the government officials and all the key stakeholders in the country provide this technical leadership that really made this project work. The other thing, obviously, is making sure that you have a management structure that can sort of pull together these resources and make everything sort of work in a timely manner. But there's also two other variables that, you know, I was impressed with when I went out to Nepal. One is the communication and the trust that was established between our team and our local counterparts, and particularly, as Baljit mentioned, with the Honorable Governor and the leaders of the bankers associations and the insurance and all the other local partners, and also with our British Embassy counterparts. That trust and that communication allowed us to sort of endure and get through all the different difficulties that you have on any journey. And then the other thing is, which is probably the most important factor, is just the dedication and passion that everyone showed on this journey. And, you know, I looked at, the journey that the Honorable Governor took out to the province. I remember when I came in, I took an overnight international flight, and then I immediately got on a local flight with Baljit and the team, and then we drove for 6 hours. And you see it firsthand, you see it in the videos, that this type of dedication and passion can generate the results and the numbers of, impacting 2.6 million people. And the testimonies from the different people that have, taken advantage of the insurance products and the financial products. So, I want to thank everyone for just an incredible, dedication and passion to make a difference in the world and make a difference in Nepal. And, this event today, I'm honored to be part of it. I'm really proud of everyone on our team. And again, I want to thank everyone that was, made this possible. So thank you all.
Thank you, Charlie. So now I'd like to request Shwan Shwani, Associate Vice President of WSP, for his closing remarks as well.
Thank you, Sanju. Thanks, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks, everyone, for all the participants. This moment is really emotional, I think, for many of us who have been part of this program. Getting to closing the journey, ending 7 years journey, that has witnessed a lot through the life of the program. From all the testimonies, from all the reflections that we have here, this program has touched the lives of many of us, both as professionals and also in personally being part of so many of these initiatives. I would like to start by actually thanking so many of the staff members that were part of this program from the very beginning. As we started getting closer to the end of the program became smaller in terms of number of staff, but the people who were part of this program have had great impact, and they have made this program a success, being part of the great team that was led by Baljit and Nirmal and the component leads. As Nirmal rightly said, this program was really by Nepalis for Nepalis. We as WSP were very proud that we were able to participate and leading a program that mobilized the local talents and working with all the counterparts, with the partners in all across the country to bring the solutions that are really market driven and demanded by the private sector, and also meets the ambitions and the vision and the strategy of the government. As I was reflecting on this program, I think, and also I was listening today to all the participants, I think what the secret recipe for Sakchyam was really is staying rooted in the community. From what we have seen in the journey and all the trips that we have all been part of. And I personally was proud to be part of so many of these trips, being in touch with the private sectors and also staying connected with the policymakers, with the regulators, and also always engaging the drivers of innovations, always bringing people who are a visionary and have a vision to bring new technology in the country. I think that's what made Sakchyam a success. I had a pleasure and I had a privilege to be part of this program in many phases, spending a lot of time with the teams on the ground. And every time I was in Nepal in this project, I was seeing all the conference rooms full of our people, meeting with the private sectors, with the partners, and debating and contemplating ideas and about what solution could be supported by Sakchyam. This seemed to be more like an idea acceleration hub than a typical development project. A lot of ideas were thought, were debated, and I think today's is just a testimony of how many of these ideas were successful. But we also acknowledge that we learn from our lessons and that not every idea could work, but remaining adaptive and flexible. From what we have seen from the Sakchyam journey, I think this program made sure that they keep sight about what really the rural areas, the enterprises in these places, the disadvantaged, the women really need, and communicate that back to our partners in the private sector and also to the regulators. Having that connection with the private sector, having that connection with the communities has helped us to be pushing our partners, as Mr. Shah said, and pushing them to do the right thing. We are very proud that Sakchyam has contributed to strengthening the Nepali financial sectors, scaling up some of the transformative digital financial solutions, and helping modernize the backbone of a well-functioning and a modern payment system infrastructure. As we are seeing, Nepal digital economy is expanding at an encouraging rate. Unfortunately, this only came most recently with the COVID, but I think Sakchyam solutions are helping consumers and also the enterprises to take advantage of the many opportunities that the new digital economy provides through the likes of e-commerce, logistics, value chain integration, and market link. So I would like to end this by thanking FCDO for trusting WSP with this significant task. And also thanks to Government of Nepal institutions and the regulators for their engagement and support for the program, and for listening, as Baljit mentioned, and being a true partner to enact many of the regulatory reforms that were important for us to be able to deliver. And thanks to all our partner institutions for their excellent implementation. And again, thanks to the project leadership, Baljit and Nirmal, Praveen, and all the staff members who made this an excellent program. We're very proud to have worked with you all. So with this, I think we end the session today, and thank you all, and have a great time.
Thank you, Shwan. Honorable Governor, I'm sorry to be interrupting here, but we see Honorable Governor, the President of WSP in the United States is with us. Todd, are you on, Todd? Okay, he was it seems like the Honorable Governor, he was on the call and he's been messaging folks. So I just thought if he's around, he could definitely have the pleasure to say hello to you, Governor, but I don't think he's left, I think. Todd, are you there?
Baljeet, can you hear me? Baljeet, can you hear me?
Oh, absolutely, Todd. What a great pleasure, Todd. I think the governor's going to be real happy, Todd. Thank you for joining us, Todd.
Well, listen, I've been monitoring a lot of unbelievable accomplishments, and I'm just very, very proud of everything that everybody's done. I think Shwani summed it up very, very well at the end. But our company, WSP, is very, very excited to be a critical part of this. And just congratulations to everybody on the call.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. Great pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Honorable Ambassador, as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Baljeet and entire team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Our hearty gratitude to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.